congressional, congressional. Good evening. Good evening, and welcome to the February 18th, 2026 Wednesday edition. I am Scott Leisure. Well. We meet again. My true hope for each and every member of the Wednesday edition community is that everyone out there survived the week and didn't have anything horrific happen to them or anyone they know, and that we all have been able to maintain some relevance of calm, peace, and serenity, right? If you're hearing this and you're tuning in, I already know that you probably haven't been trafficked. I don't have to be the one to remind everyone that there is a lot of stuff going on in the world as we speak. But, as we preach here on everyone's favorite weekly podcast, Wednesday edition, it is up to us to remain calm, keep in check, and stay vigilant, right? Our own health depends on it. I get it. Sometimes the ugly and the unimaginable that we see happening in our everyday lives can get a bit unbearable. And what happens with some people at this point is they let their emotions run a little amok. That, my friends, has been known to lead to bad choices. Remember, our New Year's resolution is to make good choices, right? Is everyone picking up what I'm laying down? As I was saying, I know we weren't going to go on and on and on and on about all of these files. But the more that people dig through, uncover, and post, the more discussion material there is. And remember, anytime you see something new posted, listen for Scott's little voice in your ear, reminding you that this is just the beginning. Listen to this. Some schools in the U.S. are actually pausing or even canceling Picture Day because the former CEO of LifeTouch Studios, his name is Leon Black, his name surfaced in the files. Before we go any further, Black's appearance in the Epstein files does not imply wrongdoing, okay? Black himself has also denied any wrongdoing in his dealings with Epstein and any knowledge of Epstein's criminal activities. Can I say this really quick? Oh, that's right. My podcast. Can I say this? Call me out if I'm wrong, but of all of the names in the files that we know of, has anyone not denied any wrongdoings with this Jeffrey guy? Back to LifeTouch, which really sounds creepy now. The CEO of the largest school photography company in the United States and Canada is in the files. So not technically the CEO of LifeTouch. Leon Black did not have a direct hands-on management tenure with LifeTouch. Instead, he was the co-founder and CEO of Apollo Global Management. That is the private equity firm that acquired LifeTouch's parent company, Shutterfly, in September of 2019. So his equity firm acquired LifeTouch and Shutterfly. Is everyone paying attention? He stepped down in 2021 because he was catching a bunch of shit because of his dealings with Epstein. The LifeTouch company has been around since 1936. They photograph students at more than 50,000 schools each year. LifeTouch captures photos for over 25 million students annually. Okay, maybe capture was a bad choice of words. The company serves over 10 million households each year, and that number includes roughly 1 million new households with students entering kindergarten. The company has provided a lot of humanitarian aid to countries like Kosovo, Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti. I hate when my name shows up in the Epstein files. LifeTouch also partnered with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children to help produce ID cards for every school student. Additional LifeTouch partners include the Canadian Center for Child Protection, the Association of School Administrators, the National Association of Elementary School Principals, the National PTA, and of course, the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation. So, Black hired Epstein to help restructure his personal fortune, which helped save Black between $1 billion and $2 billion in potential tax charges. Epstein provided advice on the management of Black's art collection, and between 2013 and 2017, Black paid Epstein $158 million. Despite knowing of Epstein's 2008 conviction for soliciting prostitution from a minor, Black continued to socialize with him, describing him as a, quote, confirmed bachelor with eclectic tastes. Black visited Epstein at his homes in New York, Paris, and in Palm Beach. Remember, Black denied any wrongdoing in his dealings with Epstein and any knowledge of Epstein's criminal activity. The guy whose equity firm acquired LifeTouch Studios and Shutterfly with a database of names, photos, and records of basically everybody, denies any wrongdoings with this sex trafficking, billionaire investor, sex crazed, private island, cannibal Jeffrey guy. The same Jeffrey guy that apparently was making sure he had his picture taken with every president, former president, Hollywood star, investor, anybody he could find. Bill Gates. When you think back on this story this week and you get online to practice doing your own research and growing your own thoughts, stop, pause, and think about how much really big stuff that is way out of our control exists in the world. Amen for research. Let's shift gears. We all know that we here at Wednesday Edition have the highest regard for our guy, RFK Jr., right? This week, RFK was discussing germs and announced that he has snorted coke off of a toilet seat. Okay, bro. You know, we already had that one figured out. Last week's approval rating dropped from a 170 the week before to a 150 last week. Even if the numbers drop, We know we gave our best, and I'm pretty confident that you won't find Wednesday edition or Scott Leisure in any of these 3 million files. And surprisingly, no one has found any mention of Charlie Sheen yet. When I think of Charlie Sheen or the RFK story, I can't help but wonder if somehow cash is eliminated, what will all of the cocaine users use to huff a rail? Cash Friday is in 2 days, people. Stop by your nearest ATM on Friday, get some cash out for the weekend, and help keep cash alive. Even if it's $20, spend it with an artist or a local business, okay? Every week, every week. Can I just say that I feel this week's Wednesday edition is off to a wonderful start? Last week, we said that we wouldn't get into a lot of what has been dug up in all of these files that were released, right? We can't always talk about satanic, blood drinking, underage, ritualistic, billionaire island sex pizza parties. The part that nobody wants to say out loud is this is just the tip of the iceberg, my friends. So, with crazier stuff out there than the LifeTouch story, I feel it's vital for all of us in the Wednesday edition circle to practice matching calamity with serenity. And with the amount of calamity that is going on, if we match it, we should be able to create a good amount of serenity, right? Over the past few weeks, we've been talking about things in our control and things out of our control, practicing acceptance, right? The serenity prayer is a very simple prayer that I like to practice numerous times throughout the day. There is a long version and a short version. The short version is really all you need. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. All three parts of that prayer present different challenges. I feel that a lot of people struggle with being able to identify what is in their control and what is not. The last part of the prayer, the wisdom to know the difference. Let's stop and breathe a minute, okay? So far in this week's edition of Wednesday Edition, we have learned more about helping maintain our peace, calm, and serenity. We have learned that Jeffrey Epstein may have had access to the entire LifeTouch and Shutterfly database. Every week, we learn about the importance of helping to keep cash alive. And we have also learned that RFK was hopefully using cash to snort coke off of toilet seats. It must be Wednesday. I hope that each week, when we all sit down and take 20 to 30 minutes to discuss some of the good in the world and some of the bad, that we do try to match the calamity of the bad with the serenity of the good. My hope is that when we discuss strategies that I have found helpful and useful in my travels through life, it helps you, my friends, and proud members of the Wednesday edition community maybe maneuver something going on in your world Or maybe it just helps you take your mind off of things for a while. Amen for community. In the face of chaos, we really need to break it down into what we can manage and focus on productive action in the present moment, right? There goes Scott, talking about living in the present moment again. I've said it here before. I like to use this time of the week to express some of my creativity, my views, my thoughts, and my opinions. I like to provide information to my community that hopefully benefits them in some way in their life. I view it as a way to connect through social media and a way for people to get to know the parts of me I want them to know. Another thing we can do to help match some of the calamity going on with Serenity is to do something for someone else, right? But Scott, I don't like anybody else. Now, I'm not suggesting that you deep clean someone's house. If all you can do for someone is drop them a text, that's something, right? Hell, just send someone an emoji if that's all you can do. Amen for emojis. Hey, that reminds me. I don't think that I have taken any time to thank you yet tonight. And if I did, thank you again with a smiley emoji. I want to give something back to you. No, it's not a free t-shirt, but let me know if you want one. I only have extra large, okay? I want to give you this. Look at what you would consider calamity occurring in your life. And while you are doing that, look at how much of that calamity is in your control. How much of it is how you are reacting to something or how you are letting something affect you. The calamity might be something that is completely out of your control. Take the stuff that is out of your control and let it remain out of your control. That, my friends, is practicing acceptance. Damn, Scott. I'm really digging this week's edition of Wednesday Edition, even the discussion about the files. All I can do is my best, right? That's what we say. I can take my kid to school, hope that he or she reminds me when picture day is, and hope that they wear something nice and don't make a dumb face. Oh, wait, I forgot. We probably won't be doing that anytime soon. Thanks a lot, LifeTouch. Thanks a lot, Epstein. I hope that you are enjoying this week's podcast as much as I am. I feel that even so far this week, we have been able to match some calamity with some serenity, maybe a little. I also hope that when you are on your own time during the week, you might think about a word that you heard here or a topic and look it up online and maybe learn something about it, or maybe even look at it a little different. I'm not here to tell you how to live, what to believe, who to worship, or even what music to listen to, unless it's Eagles, right? In doing some of your own research and growing your own thoughts, I hope that you become awake about things that may or may not be happening in the world. We can't make this shit up. My hope is that most, if not all, of the Wednesday Edition community is somewhat awake already. At least there are some of you with maybe one eye open. An awakening refers to a shift in consciousness, moving away from a restricted ego-based identity towards a more authentic, unified, and aware state of being. Sometimes living in this manner is the best thing we can do for ourselves, right? Living in awareness, living authentically, and living outside of our ego. What can I, Scott Leisure, really control if that first grade picture of me in that sweet outfit my mom dressed me in is now in the hands of some weird, demonic, blood drinking sex circle living in underground cities? When it comes to that, I can control about 0% of it. When it comes to how can I let it affect me and my overall health, 100%. Sometimes the best thing I can do with a situation is just what we were talking about earlier. Accept it, move forward. Hopefully, don't do any toilet seat coke. Get some cardio, eat some protein, and breathe, right? And try to use some cash. Maybe you even used some cash this past weekend on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is the dumbest holiday there is. Unless you are Hallmark or you own a candy shop or own a flower shop or own a restaurant. I know I've mentioned the fact that I worked a long, long time in the restaurant industry. Valentine's Day was the single most awful busiest night of the year. I have never seen so many red flippin' sweaters in my life. Valentine's night was one of the nights that the people that would only go out on certain nights went out. Valentine's was one of those nights. And if you're a bartender or a server, it was one of those nights that you would totally run your ass off for shitty tips. You know the nights. Every table, every time you go to the table, they send you on 5 trips. You industry people out there feel my pain. I know you do. Amen for Valentine's Day being over. So, just to summarize, cash, shitty tips, Cupid, cocaine, acceptance, files, millions of children's pictures possibly in the possession of who knows who, awakenings, toilet seats, emojis, Calamity, and the Serenity prayer. Did I mention Charlie Sheen? Well, I guess I did mention Coke. Yep. Must be Wednesday. Help keep cash alive and Google these 3 things this week, people. Number 1, Google Leon Black. Go ahead, draw your own conclusions. I just find it weird that this billionaire who is paying this Epstein guy millions of dollars and still associating with him after a bunch of stuff started coming out about child trafficking had access to a massive child database. That's all. Number 2, Google matching Calamity with Serenity and maybe, hopefully, find some tools to help you and help your overall health. Number 3, Google RFK and Mike Tyson and learn more about eating real food, feeling better, and looking better. The good side of RFK, right? Hey, we all make mistakes. And sometimes the price we pay for associating with the wrong people is enough reason for us to be stricter about who we keep in our circles, right? Just because your circle includes lots of billionaires does not necessarily mean that it's a good circle. Here it is. The top 5 songs from February 18th, 1982. The average enrollment for public elementary schools was 400 students in 1982. Let's do this. Number 5. Shake It Up, The Cars. That should be number 1. Great band, great song. 1 for 1. Number 4. Open Arms, Journey. Am I the only one that thinks the new Journey singer is better than the old one? I mean, Journey is really Neil Schoen's band, right? 2 for 2. Another solid start. Number 3. From February 18th, 1982. Number 3. Where did it go? Harden My Heart, Quarter Flash. I'm going to get on Bet MGM this week, and I'm betting everything that Quarter Flash is not in the files. 3 for 3. Number 2. I Can't Go For That, Hall&Oates. They should have made a breakfast cereal. They should have. 3 for 4. All of their songs sound exactly the same. And the number 1 song from February 18th, 1982, Centerfold, the Jay Giles Band. My blood runs cold. My memory has just been sold. My angel is the centerfold. Angel is the centerfold. My blood runs cold. My memory has just been sold. All right. 4 for 5. It would have been a perfect countdown if not for Hall and Flippin' Oates. Amen for this week's edition of Wednesday Edition. Match some Calamity with Serenity this week. Drink your water, live in the moment, avoid toilet seat cocaine, practice some acceptance, do some research, and don't get trafficked. But don't you feel better knowing that if you get trafficked, there is an online database of you from every year from kindergarten to 6th grade that they can help to find you? Thank you for making Wednesday Edition part of your week. Well done, friends. Thank you for the messages and the interactions, and a huge thank you for being part of the Wednesday Edition community. Wednesday Edition. Every Wednesday, 5 p.m., Instagram, YouTube, and scottleisure.com. If you subscribe, I personally won't add you to any database. That is a promise. Thank you again. Remain vigilant, remain safe, and keep yourself in check. Amen. And good night.